underestimated and boxed in. All judgmental labels spread us thin. We can run away to another place. No need to worry, you'll be my safety. We can run away to another place. No need to worry, escape reality. Escape reality. No need to worry, escape reality. Escape reality. Oh, we can take this world by storm. I couldn't want anything more. Just hear me whisper that your dreams lie here with me. And lay the stars above serve as your remedy. We can run away to another place. No need to worry, you'll be my safety. We can run away to another place. No need to worry, escape reality. Escape reality. No need to worry, escape reality. Escape reality. No need to worry, escape reality.
Welcome, 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 everyone. It is Tuesday, 7 p.m. to Silk Masquerades. We are so happy to have you join us. Hola to those of you that are joining us. And if you are joining on the replay, please make sure that you leave us a comment and let us know where you are joining from. We want to be able to chat with you and we want to know that you are tuning in. So make sure. So we are excited about this afternoon. Today I have my daughter Madison, and she is going to hang out with me. We are going to have mother-daughter chatter this afternoon, and I am looking forward to it. This is something we haven't done before, so this is completely new, but I am excited about it and looking forward to it. So, wanted to mention that there was a question that we asked on Facebook. And last week we had hair doctor Anthony McClendon. He came on and he told us that there are only 4 types of hair. And we needed you to name the 4 types of hair that the hair doctor Anthony McClendon mentioned, and you will be entered into a drawing to win a free gift from Silk Masquerades. So please make sure that you put your answers in on Facebook or Instagram. You can even list the 4 types of hair here, and we will enter your name in the drawing, in the raffle drawing to win a prize. Okay? So make sure you do that and you stay tuned. And we are going to have my daughter come up, and we're going to have a little bit of conversation this afternoon. So if you see me looking down, I'm looking at the hey Beverly. Beverly's checking in. Hi. Want to say hi to everybody. So please make sure you let us know that you're here. We want to say hello to you. Please make sure if you have any questions, if Madison says anything or I say anything that you want to double back on and ask us a question about, please make sure that you put it in the chat. Okay. And we will attempt to answer your question. If you have any comments, put that in the chat as well. So make sure that you subscribe, hit that notification bell, and you will not miss out on any of our episodes. Make sure you hit that notification bell and you can stay up to date with what we have going on here at Silk Masquerades. There is so much that we have coming up to share with you. So many stories and so many individuals that we are introducing to you. And by the way, you guys, if you did not know, there was an interview. The podcast Silk Masquerades was invited to perform an interview or invited to an interview with Allegheny East Conference Today, AEC Today reports. And it was on 2 weeks ago. If you didn't get a chance to check that out, why don't you go on over to AEC Today and check out the interview that we did on AEC Today? That was exciting. So, oh, we have Sister Lee is here. Hi, Sister Lee. Thank you for joining us. Hello, Brother Lee. We're excited to have you join us this afternoon. We're just going to have a bit of mother daughter chatter today. So let me go ahead and introduce to you who do not know my daughter, Madison. And we're going to go ahead and get started. So let's bring Madison in to the stage. Welcome, Madison. All right, you guys. So this is my daughter, Madison, and she is joining us this afternoon for a bit of conversation. We're going to talk a little bit and ask a few questions and see, you know, what we can chit chat about. Thank you, Madison, for coming and stepping in and joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm so glad to be here. I've been looking forward to this for a little bit now. So I'm glad
Yay!
we got a chance to do it.
Yay! Okay, for those of you who do not know, Madison is my one and only child.
Yes.
So, and Joy is saying hi, Madison.
Hi.
Hi, Joy. All right. So, Madison, we are going to start out talking about a little bit of childhood to teenage years. Okay.
Okay.
And so we're going to start with the day you were born.
I've
Ah,
been looking forward to hearing the story. So I want to hear what you have to say.
okay. That could be good, maybe not. So you guys don't forget to hit the subscribe, like and share. Hit the notification bell so that you'll know whenever we are online. Okay. All right. The day you were born. Oh my gosh. You are 20 years old. Like, wow,
I
you
am.
oh my
Yes.
goodness. I managed to keep you alive. Well, no, with God's help, I managed to keep you alive.
Amen.
Oh, you know, man, 2001. Of course, you know, um, it was something that I was nervous about, but as the time went on, I was excited. I know you have asked about, where did my name come from? And So, of course,
Mhm.
Madison Ainsley. And during the time that I was carrying you, there was a show that I would watch. It was a legal drama. And the attorney's name was Ainsley. And your grandmother's middle name is Lee. My mother's middle name is Lee. So I chose Ainsley. And
Okay.
Madison, honestly, truthfully, on one of my trips home to South Carolina, I was passing all these signs. I thought about Mackenzie. I thought about Montgomery. I thought
Mhm.
about Sydney. And then I passed a road sign that said Madison, Madison County. So it wasn't anything, monumental,
So
but
my name came from a TV show and a road sign.
okay, a TV show and a road sign. That's not a bad deal, though. There are some names out here that I could have chosen.
Yeah.
Absidy, ABCD.
Ooh, no, thank you. I'm okay with Madison.
Okay,
Thank you
Madison,
very much.
you look like a Madison. But so, having you during that time was, I was nervous, I was terrified, but of course, when you were born, I was so thrilled. And most of you, if you've been on my Facebook page, you know that, I'm in love with this little girl. And I just remember that night us staring at each other for hours, what I thought was hours. And I was so excited to be able to raise this little girl and to, um, of course, when you were about one, we had Auntie Rosalind, and Auntie Rosalind was like, she loved Madison. In fact, Sherry called you Madison Madison because you were stubborn from the beginning, and just a little. And we knew this. Of course, you were 2 weeks late. You were born past your due date, so that's giving me some sort of idea that you would probably be late all the time, and that you would be stubborn. So
I have gotten better with both things. Thank you very much.
better with both. So, having Auntie Rosalind, we decided, okay, she's gonna be one. We're going to have her, dedicated. So we had your dedication at West End Church in
Mhm,
Atlanta.
mhm.
So Donna's on. Hi, Donna. Glad to see Donna. And Donna saying hello.
Hi, Miss Mama.
After your dedication, of course,
Mhm.
then we decided, you know what? We should have a birthday party. So, of course, all your birthdays were special. We made them, Auntie Rosa made sure they were the bee's knees. Okay. And
I remember those pictures of seeing my first birthday party. There was a
mhm,
lot going on. I'll just say that.
there was a lot going on. The
There was
clown,
a clown and everything. Yes.
exactly, exactly. You know, but with us, it was always, you know, the two of us. And so, of course, your dad was around. Your dad spent time with you, but it was us, you know, and keeping you straight, keeping you together, making sure, that you did the right thing. And a lot of times that was very frustrating for you. And so, you know, I often, I wanted to make sure that you had every opportunity in the world to do all sorts of things. I know you recall me entering you into this contest or that contest or the other.
Ay, ay, ay. Yes, I definitely do. I still have trophies in my room even now from contests I was in when I was one, and even contests you made me get in when I was 15, 16. So, I mean,
Yeah, well,
all throughout.
wanted to make sure that you were well rounded. Okay, I didn't think there was anything wrong with that.
No, there is nothing wrong with that. I picked up some skills for sure from the things that you strongly
Exactly,
suggested I do.
strongly suggested. That's yeah. Mm. So, when you were 5,
Mhm.
um, actually, you I think just turned 6.
Okay,
Um, I got married and we moved to Indiana. That
right.
was the first time you had to leave your school and go to a different school. And within 5 years, you attended 4 different schools,
I did.
elementary schools. How was that for you? What was that like, you know? Because I don't know that I never really ever asked you, what you
Hmm.
thought about having to move so much.
Hmm. Um, you know, I some of them early on, I don't necessarily remember the most because of the fact that I was so young. But I know that being able to be in different environments and being within different school scenarios, and I was in schools that were so different from each other, predominantly white, predominantly black. Some of them were they were just all over the place. That being said, I feel like it allowed me to, like you said before, become a lot more well-rounded because of the fact that I got to experience so many different environments. But a con was not really being able to ever put down like roots with my elementary school friends and buddies and stuff that I know. I have maybe one or two friends that I knew in elementary school that I still keep in touch with now because of the fact that I moved around so much. But that being said, I did get to be introduced into new things and meet new people and all different types of people. So I consider that a pro. And honestly, that might be why I am able to kind of adjust to multiple environments how I am now. So maybe that is why.
Okay, okay. So,
Mhm.
there were pros and there were cons, but the
Yeah.
pros outweigh the cons, right?
Yes, they did. Especially our last move to Virginia. I feel like my life wouldn't have been anywhere how it is now if we didn't make that last move. I feel like I imagine what my life would have been like if I had stayed in Atlanta or if I had stayed in Indiana. I feel like my life would have been completely different. I as a person would have been completely different. So I think that a pro is definitely coming to Virginia and being able to really live out most of like my grade school years with the same people in that way. So
Okay. All right. That makes sense. So, you know, um, we mentioned, mom entering you into contest and, making sure that you were playing some sort of sport. I tried
mhm.
very hard to get you to play basketball because
Not my
you,
thing. Not my thing.
I
I'll
think
be honest, I barely understand the game now. So
we waited too long. We waited too long. We did have the opportunity to have you play rec league in soccer and, getting you involved in activities
Mhm.
and, you know, so would you consider mom to be a helicopter parent? If so,
Mm.
in what way?
What do you define as a helicopter parent? Let me ask you that first.
Um, a helicopter parent is one that is defined as someone that hovers, always making sure that they're always around, always there, not allowing you to do things on your own, that type thing.
I think you let me do a certain amount of things on my own. I think that the helicopter parent came in when I wanted to branch out on things that I wanted to do on my own that you not necessarily wanted me to do. That's where it came in. I wouldn't say you were a helicopter parent per se, but you did find a way to get involved in what I had going on. And you always wanted to make sure that you had your say in the things that that I was involved in. Most of them were to my benefit, most of them,
Oh,
but
that's reasonable.
yes. But I know that it was always because you wanted me to be great and have the best for myself. So I understand why that was the case. But at the time was not the most fun thing in the world.
Well,
But
okay, wait. What possibly could I never kept you from having fun.
no, you kept me from things that I probably thought were fun at the time that probably were not the best thing for me. Which is why I say I get it now, but back then it wasn't great. But no, it really was about mostly it was about my safety. You tend to think that I will, you know, get into situations no matter what the circumstances are. I'm gonna get up in some situation, so you often try to protect me from those, whether or not it's probably going to happen or not. But that is the only thing that I would say is like a helicopter parent of characteristic that you have.
Okay, okay. Well, that's not so bad. I think that would be more like, you know, disciplinarian as opposed to a helicopter parent. Would you agree?
Yes, I feel like it's a mix of both,
A mix
for
of
being
both.
honest. Yeah.
Okay. That's reasonable. So speaking of disciplinarian,
Okay.
so sometimes you and I we had a go of it sometimes.
Oh,
And
yes, for
there
sure.
were, a couple of times, I had to pull out the belt and it just had to be what it is. You had to,
Mm.
you're spanking. But do you think that in those times that I was ever not fair or um, wrong or harsh in my dealings with you when it comes to discipline?
When it comes to discipline, I don't really think so. I think a lot of times I will I will say that me as a child, I was not the most easygoing to kind of to follow rules and things. So I could understand being the age that I am now why that was the case. So I wouldn't say necessarily unreasonable or you went out of your way to do things to discipline me. I don't think that's the case. I would say you were pretty fair,
Okay.
definitely.
All right. So, what do you miss most about being young?
Do you want like a list or do you want like bullet? um, I
What do you miss?
I think the thing that I miss the most is the outlook that you have as a child. Like you have the outlook of like everything is, sunshine and rainbows and everything is fun and everything seems simple. As you get older, life tends to get a lot more complicated and not as black and white. Um, so it seems to be a bit more difficult. I miss just being able to run around and, just be a kid without having concern about who thinks what or like how I look here or any sort of thing like that. When you're a child, you really are not concerned. The only thing you're really concerned with is whether or not you're happy. So I think that that's something that I would say that I would miss from
Okay.
my childhood. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. And what would be your favorite childhood memory? Your favorite childhood memory?
My favorite childhood memory. Um, Either Christmases or vacations, I would say. They are all pretty hard to kind of top each other. Um, Christmases where I remember driving to my grandparents for Christmases and spending Christmas with them and opening the presents and things under the tree and whatnot. And um, vacations, our Hilton Head vacations were probably my favorite vacations I've ever taken because
With
of the environment and the space. Yes, yes, with the whole family actually. We all went one time.
yeah, the year that Grandma and Papa went, and
Yep,
Daryl, Haley, and Camilla. Oh,
everybody was there.
yes.
That was probably my favorite vacation that we've ever taken in like my childhood. Um, because of the fact that it was so because of the fact that it was so just relaxing. It was such an environment where you don't really have to worry about anything. It's so peaceful being at the beach. For those who doesn't know, Hilton Head Island is a smaller island on the coast of South Carolina.
Hilton Head is
And
a happy place.
yes,
Yes.
yes, it is nothing but sand, beach, and peaceful times and good food. And it's great to go to kind of take a break from everything and the craziness of life. So
Nico
I would say that was my favorite one.
is overrated. That's what
Yes, I see that. I completely agree.
you were in a hurry to be an adult. Like you
I
couldn't. I
know.
feel
Worst
like
mistake I've ever made.
go where I want to go. I can't wait until I have my driver's license. I can't wait until I go to college. I mean,
Well,
your thing was,
but
Mom, when can I wear lip gloss? Mom, when can I wear lipstick? Mom, how old do I have before I can have a boyfriend? Mom, when can I wear makeup? Yes.
see, when you're younger, everybody tells you about the fun things that you get to do when you're an adult. Nobody tells you about the responsibility that comes along with being able to do all those things and have all those things. Nobody tells you what that comes with. So everybody's just excited for the good part. Nobody knows anything about what comes along with it.
And to be
But
fair, we want to save you the agony. You don't have
right,
to worry about those things. All you have to do is be a child and have fun and enjoy life and do what you're supposed to do.
right.
Yeah.
The driver's license thing, though, I do not regret. I love being able to drive. Ever since I said I love driving. It's a peaceful time for me.
If
So that's
I
one thing I guess I wouldn't say I rushed into. I still love it today. So
okay. I guess that makes sense. Um,
hmm
so let's move right along.
okay.
Um, tell us about the first time that you recall it, we left Georgia when you were what, 10,
hmm
and moved to Virginia.
hmm
Tell us about the first time that you experienced racism because there's so many things happening.
hmm
And like you said, you couldn't wait to drive and you still enjoy driving. But
hmm
every time you leave the house, I'm worried.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how my parents did it, and I think I think I've mentioned to you that I have called them to apologize for ever making them worry, to apologize for being a brat sometimes, or just being straight up disobedient.
hmm
But every time you leave home, I worry, you know, um, and I want to make sure that nothing happens to you. It's kind of like, I'll drive you. Nope. You want to drive
I,
yourself.
yeah.
So now we're in Virginia,
hmm
which is uh, the demographics is quite different from Georgia.
Yes,
What
for
was the
sure.
first time that you experienced racism, and
Um.
how did it make you feel?
Well, like you said, the demographics are completely different, really. Um. in the area that we were in, it was a predominantly black area, and the area that we moved to was predominantly white area. I don't ever recall experiencing any sort of racism before I moved to Yorktown. I think that honestly, a couple of times pop in my head. I don't recall which one happened first, but there was an instance where I was friends with a group of girls, and all of them but one, where they were white, I had went to a birthday party. It was a sleepover that I was doing, and they started making little jokes. We were at the movie theater, and of course, there are always the little microaggressions of, "Oh, I'm almost as dark as you. Look at me," or like, "Oh, why does your hair look like this?" Or, "See, this is what you should do with your hair. Why can't your hair do this?" Stuff like that. And the little friend circle of girls, it was always weird being the one who was different. It was like we were all looking at this makeup is so cute, but it wouldn't look right on you. It would only look right on me. It was little stuff like that that happened. But I, as young as I was, didn't really think twice about those things. I thought it was just because, oh, it's obvious I'm black, they're white. So that's the reason why this is happening. It was almost like I was kind of desensitized to it. Um, but when it really hit me was when we were having the sleepover and the little jokes that they were making. I started to get kind of offended by it. I was like, wait, this isn't funny. Usually I'm able to just laugh it off and kind of be like, okay, haha, whatever. But this time I was kind of like, this is actually kind of making me upset. I don't necessarily remember exactly what they were saying, but I do know that I was in the car, and I remember calling you and telling you, "Hey, you're gonna have to come pick me up because if you don't, it's not gonna be pretty at all. Because this is not funny anymore. It's not funny at all." And I remember them having to drop me off in like the middle of the night because I did not want to stay over there. I simply did not feel safe staying over there. Um, and I remember feeling like I was so on like the outside of everything. I didn't feel like I really belonged in the area. I didn't feel like I could ever actually equal up to what they had going on, or I could never really match like their energy, basically, because of the difference between them and me and my skin color and their skin color and the things that I had to experience that they didn't have to experience. I didn't really recognize that it was such a problem until around that time. It was either that time, there was another instance where I was in class and a boy that I was kind of friends with, he was an associate, basically was joking around with me. I was joking around with him, as kids do, and he stopped and said to me, "You better stop, or I'm gonna go make you pick cotton." And I was like, I was like, what? And at first, I didn't realize that it was actually something that he should not have said. It hit me it hit me a little bit afterwards, and then of course I remember telling you and your reaction. I was like, okay, he shouldn't have said that. That obviously that was bad. So I remember educating myself because the education system over there doesn't really teach you much about all of those things, so you don't really know a lot of it until it happens, and you actually have to look up for yourself what all these things mean and why it was offensive and why it shouldn't have been said. I remember you being livid, and I had to actually beg you. I was like, "No, don't do anything. I have to go to school with these people. I didn't want her to embarrass me in front of all the people that I had to go to school with and see every day."
Your mother was gonna set that place on fire.
Yeah, no.
I was
It
ready to light it up. Uh, but I do, I remember when the incident happened with the sleepover, and I
mhm,
was hurt. My feelings were hurt for you
mhm.
that you had to experience that uh, already, you
Yeah,
know.
I think at
Think,
that point, that was when I realized, okay, there's a difference and the difference matters in my skin tone, in their skin tone. I think that was when I really kind of had my eyes open to everything that was going on. And as time has passed, it's honestly just gotten progressively like louder. So I've definitely been paying attention to the things that happen, like, and people around me, and those people are, I've decided that they were not supposed to be around me. They they did not need to be around me. I did not need to be around that type of energy. So I've
Okay.
definitely, I think I became a lot more guarded to that after that incident.
Yeah, I think you did. But what I can say is that you managed to be able to navigate that well. You, you have friends that are of all various backgrounds, you know. You've
Hmm.
been able to be friends with anybody that you wanted to be friends with, that wanted to be friends with you. And
Hmm.
I appreciate that about you and your spirit and you wanting to be able to, you know, um, just be who you are
Hmm.
and to enjoy your friends in that way. And Sister Lee says, "Oh, you've raised an awesome young lady. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Ethel Lee." Uh, and I'm excited about the fact that you managed to be able to do that. So, moving on,
Okay.
what is the best and or worst advice that you've ever received?
Oh, the best and worst advice that I've ever received. I think that both of them come from educators and teachers that I've had.
Mhm.
The worst advice probably would be honestly not to try at all, because, like, yo, there's no need in wasting your effort in it, because it's not going to work out for you, or it's not going to go the way you want it to go. Yes. I don't think I ever told you that. I
Dare
don't
you
think I
tell me that?
I don't think I ever told you that. I did not want that reaction. but but
See how she
yes,
does, guys. She doesn't tell
I
me.
didn't. You see how you do? You guys see how she just threatened to come to the school and set it up on? No, I didn't need. I didn't need all that. Um, um, yeah, it was. I forgot what it was about. Some sort of test or something. On a subject that I believe it was actually history. It was a history test, and I used to be terrible when it came to history and social studies. I'm not sure why. um,
That only started like your last year or so in middle school.
no, mm-mm. I started it started slipping off from me in like sixth grade. I would say. Um, I don't really know. In elementary school, of course, it was like easy. Like, it was basically just memorizing things. Um, but it started to pick up with that, and I think that's where it kind of slipped off. And I was coming to the teacher and asking her, what is it that I need to do? And she was kind of like, "Oh, I don't think it's gonna work out for you, so don't even bother trying." And I was like, "Okay." Um,
Well,
I
I wish
I'm
I
sorry.
had that.
Oh, um, I ended up trying anyway, and ended up passing the class anyway. So that was what I would say would be the worst advice. Um, I think the best advice I've ever received actually came from you. You used to tell me all the time, not that I don't have to say everything that I'm thinking all the time, all the time. That's something that she repeated to me multiple times as a child, because I used to be a chatterbox. I used to say anything that came to my head, I would just let it out. And she would always tell me, you do not have to say everything you're thinking. Sometimes it's not okay to say everything you're thinking. And I think that's actually played a lot in college years, because
Okay.
in college years you see a lot of things that it's kind of like, I wouldn't, because it's just people being integrated from different environments and different living situations and coming into like this one place, and it's like you meet a whole bunch of different people who are completely different from you. And I think it is very important to learn not to judge and be that judgmental character. And I think that that advice honestly helped me take away my judgment from other people's like lives and their opinions on things and
Okay,
such.
that is nice to know. Okay, so speaking of college,
Okay.
you have gone away to college. It is um, the choice that you made was made, of course, with some encouragement.
Mm.
Um, and I know
Mhm.
that um, you had expectations of college.
Oh yeah.
Has your experience there at your school at Southern been um, lived up to any of those expectations for you?
Um, I think a couple of them, the being able to, like I was talking about, being mixed in with a whole bunch of people that are completely different from me, allowing me to experience situations that are different from the situation that I'm used to, I think would definitely be the expectation that I would say it lived up to. This being said, I chose to go to a college that is religious based, which is absolutely fine. But with that comes along things that I did not expect from college and things that I did not anticipate for my own college experience, such as like the 11 o'clock curfew and requirements to do things that normal or non private public schools and colleges wouldn't require you to do. Things of that such, I think kind of shocked me a little bit, not being able to just kind of come and go as I please and not necessarily having the amount of freedom that I thought that I was going to have. Um, I think was the one expectation that I didn't live up to. But yeah.
And of course, those things your mother appreciates.
Mm,
Uh, your parents appreciate knowing that there are those guardrails in place
mhm,
for you to have a curfew. You need to be
mhm.
inside. Nothing good happens
Right.
after a period of time. We need you in.
But personally, I feel as if it's important to be able to, yes, have guardrails, but I feel like it's important to, if those guardrails are instilled in you, be able to be given a chance to live life without those guardrails and do that in an environment like college where everybody makes mistakes, everybody messes up, and it's okay. To those are like the years where mistakes and mess ups happen. Uh,
See what
I
sounds
see
like
the comment.
important. Well, it's college. There are guardrails
Yeah.
in place where you can make some mistakes and you still have some boundaries. Those guardrails offer you a sense of protection. And I know that wasn't
Yes.
necessarily your first choice,
No, it
but
was not.
have you found that you enjoy being there? You enjoy the campus, you enjoy, you know, school?
I would say yes and no.
Mhm.
Yes, because like I said, the little bit of freedom that it does give you, I enjoy that. As well as just honestly furthering my education. I feel like I'm learning new things every day. Um, but I would also say no. Well, first off, I'm a city person. I like to be involved in things that are happening. I like the hustle and bustle and the movement and always having something to do, always having somewhere to go. Yeah, I love that. My school happens to be smack dab in the middle of the country. So there's not all of that. I think the closest to that is actually Atlanta, is like the closest big city type environment. Everything else is kind of like it's either 30 minutes or 45 minutes away. And if it's not in that 30 or 45 minutes, it's definitely in either Atlanta or some other close nearby city. Um, but it is upwards to 2 or 3 or 4 hours away, would be one of
I'm,
the downsides for sure, because I feel like I can't really, get involved and everything.
I like that.
Okay.
But I realize
No,
that
no.
but I realize that that's not always fair
Mhm,
for young adults when you are experiencing college and college life, and you want to get out and you want to get about. Miko
mhm.
said she's a city girl too.
Exactly.
Okay, but where you are, Chattanooga is not so bad. I mean,
Not bad at
after all,
all.
if mommy hadn't encouraged you to go back, you wouldn't have met this boyfriend.
You bring up the boyfriend. Okay. All righty then. Yes, I would not have met who I am with now if I did not decide to return. That
Exactly.
is true. So that is a plus. I will give you that one. You were right about that. I'll let you have it.
Thank you.
Thank you, mother.
Okay, so tell me, at this time in your life, when you think
Mhm.
about you and Miko said a boyfriend, what?
Ah, I will
Thank
be expecting a call.
you. Okay. So, at this time in your life, when you think about you and your friends and you're talking with your friends,
Mhm.
what are some of the things that you guys are most concerned about today?
Today, honestly, this pandemic and getting out of it would probably be what I would say is the most concerning thing. Uh, Honestly, in the times that we're in, there seem to be different things popping up to be concerned about every day. Um, Definitely the uprising and deaths of black men on the streets, black men and women on the streets, basically, would be something that I'm concerned about for my friend circle in particular. It's something that I always worry about. We're gonna bring up the boyfriend again. Like you were saying, how you worried about me every time I would go out because of situations like that. I get a little taste of that now because I'm concerned every single time he like goes out and does something. Every time he tells me, "Oh, I got pulled over," it's like, "Ugh, what?" So I think that that's something that is definitely a fear and a worry. Also, just being able to get through like these times of not being able to really be involved with people as much as we want to, as much as we wish to be. There are a lot of things on campus that aren't happening because of that. I think that that is really what we're most concerned about when it comes to our lives as we have them today.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's, definitely a concern, and I can understand because going to school, you guys made it to college at least your first year, a
Hmm.
portion of your first year before the pandemic hit, you
Yeah.
know. So having to have your freshman year interrupted with um, COVID-19, and
Hmm.
then having to go back to school midst the pandemic.
Hmm.
Um, I know that that has been a big stressor for
Oh, for sure.
many of you, as well as for
Hmm.
those of us that actually work in any school system. It's hard for our students. So I
Hmm.
think that you guys have done an awesome job in, you know, being um, determined to, forge ahead and
Hmm.
complete your studies. So that is important and
Thank you.
appreciated. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So now tell me, what are your thoughts on these Satan shoes?
The Satan shoes. Oof. Um, my
What
thoughts
what have
on
your friends say about these shoes? Because I know it's come up in your circle.
yeah, Lil Nas X and his Satan shoes. My it seems to be a common agreement amongst like me and my friends that it's important that we, stand on why we believe that it's wrong and why we don't think it's the best idea. But it's also important to kind of understand why he put those out in the first place. I think would be something to talk more about. I think a lot of the
Is
conversation surrounding them. I'm sorry.
Can you explain that? Such as what? Why?
Right. Okay. I think a lot of the conversation surrounding them is just, oh, like, he put out Satan shoes. Like, that's obviously Satan worship and it's obviously bad, which, in cases are true. But it's also important to recognize that he did that because of the fact that he grew up in the church and he, of course, identifies as a gay man. So when he revealed that to people that he went to church with, basically he felt like he was just outcasted and was just kicked out of the church and nobody supported him. So he felt that it was necessary to basically put out a message that was kind of degrading to the church and kind of saying, hey, like, I don't have to do what you say. I'm going to do the exact opposite of what you say. And I don't think that it necessarily is something that would help to kind of put out the same energy because he did it that caused him to do it in the first place. Um, Now, that being said, I'm not necessarily sure what the best energy to or best response to that would be. But they're actually, I think they are getting like banned and recalled now. I'm pretty sure
I think I did hear something.
because yeah, I think because the controversy and literally the amount of attention it's getting from the Christian community, they basically got the shoes recalled and taken off shelves, and he can't sell them anymore, and it's like a whole thing. So I think that most me and my friends, all alike, are kind of saying how right it's bad that he did that, but also understand what your part was in like why he did it in the first place.
Yeah, I do understand being hurt by people who are supposed to be Christian
Hmm.
and how that can have an effect on somebody. Um, so I'm sad that that happened to him, but on
Hmm.
the flip side, no, you can't wear those shoes in my house.
Yeah, no, I don't even want any part of what those shoes got
Don't
going on.
don't want to see it. Don't step in any.
No,
So, so
no.
that is that. Um, so what do you think is important for me as your mother to remember?
Oh, um, I think something that would be important for you to remember would most likely be where you were at my age or the things that was happening in your life at my age and kind of remember that you were here too. You were my age too at one point. I think that that's something that needs to be remembered. I think it's important to kind of understand and in that be able to further understand like what I'm going through or what like your child is going through to speak in general. But yeah, I would say
Okay,
that's the most important thing.
and that's more than reasonable. I think that I've done better
Hmm.
in recent years.
Oh yeah.
Maybe
Hmm.
before would you agree?
Yes,
Um,
as I've grown older, definitely.
yeah, yeah. Because what Molly's song "Fight for You," that's
Hmm.
me. I
Mhm.
will fight for you, you
Mhm.
know, because just so you know, I'm your biggest fan. I'm your number one supporter. I think you are, you know, a wonderful person
Mhm.
inside and out. You know, I am so proud of the young lady that you have grown into, that I see you becoming. Um, I'm proud of you working hard to accomplish your goals. And, so I want to to make sure that you stay true to who you are, and that you do what makes you happy, but that you also maintain a a standard and level of um what's the word? I don't know. I wouldn't say expertise, because you always think that I want you to be perfect, but it's not necessarily to be perfect, but to do
Uh-huh.
your best
Right.
and do your best always. And I am
Mhm.
proud of you, and I thank you for coming
Thank
and
you.
chatting with me
Of
and
course, anytime.
sharing with our audience who you are. And uh, this is my daughter Madison, everybody. Thank you, Madison, for coming.
Of
We appreciate
course.
you.
I enjoy talking with you as well.
I
I love you.
All right. Thank you, Madison, for coming.
All right.
Hold tight.
Okay.
Hey, everyone. That was my daughter, Madison. Just a little mother daughter chatter. And I hope you've enjoyed getting to know her and hearing her share with us who she is and what she is all about. And Madison Miko says it was great seeing you. Thank you, Miko, for hanging in there with us. So, wanted to make sure that I remind you all. Here it is. Hair doctor Anthony McClendon indicates that there are four types of hair. This was from last week's episode. There are four types of hair. What are they? We need you to let us know what the four types of hair are that hair doctor Anthony McClendon mentioned on last week. And you will be entered into a raffle, into a drawing to win a free gift. So make sure you post your answers on Facebook, on Instagram, or even right here on YouTube, okay? Looking for that answer. All right, everybody. So it has been a pleasure to have you joining us tonight. And we want to say thank you for coming and checking us out. Make sure that you subscribe. Make sure you tell your friends and neighbors about um, Silk Masquerades. Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. We are right here. Make sure you join us. We've got lots of things coming up planned all the way into July. So you don't want to miss it. And we are looking forward to having you join us. So it is that time. And that sound means that it is the end of another episode. And remember, if there's something missing in your smile, why don't you go and bloom
There's
where you're
something
planted,
missing in
and
your
then come back and tell
smile.
us about it, okay? We want to hear from
Something
you.
missing in your soul. There's something missing in your smile.
Yeah, Miko.
Something missing
Make sure
in your
you do that.
soul. There's something missing in your smile. Something missing in your smile. Something missing in your soul. Something missing in your smile. Something missing in your soul.